Alright. First and foremost, I would like to say call Halal Mla to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Alright, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do rule well, which I learned this truth from. I'd like to say peace, mercy, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Alright, men, women, and children. This is the brother Malak Tazadak Adawan. And I'm going to start with Exodus 11 and 7. And it reads, "But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel." All right, yeah. So this is going in on pretty much how recently I've watched on a podcast with the comedian Godfrey and the other Nigerian fella from Ninja Warrior. I can't think of his name. He has a traditional African name. But yeah, they were going in, asking questions about, the acceptance of from African Americans, so-called African Americans, you Israelites, which consist of, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But this is specifically talking, to and towards Judah. These so-called FBAs here in America. So the big question is why there's a big disconnect from Africans and African Americans. So, but the one thing that is missing with the understanding of who's who and what's what is that all skin folk and kinfolk. But to the defense of Godfrey and the other brother there, they're actually Nigerian. So, the Nigerians, which is pretty much the modern day Haitians, and you have the Igbo of the people, that means pretty much Hebrew, the word Igbo or Igbo. So that connection there with the Nigerians, is that they're Israelites, okay? They're just Israel, that was left behind, because not all our people were rounded up and put on slave ships and sent over here to the Americas. Now there are true Africans in Nigeria, but in a whole, in the sense of thinking of who the Nigerians are, they're really Jake. They go back, to the Levites. Alright? So yes, I brought the scripture out just to isolate, the fact that the Lord made a difference between, the Egyptians, okay, which were dark, Hamitic people. Actually, they came the progenitor of the Egyptians. These Hamites was Noah's youngest son. All right, and you can find that basically secular proof in history in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Okay, and it goes in on telling you that, you know, like how the scriptures just iterated in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It reiterates. You know, so just in case you don't want to take our word for it or the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you'll, you know, listen to Daddy Esau, man. Zaddy Esau. So yeah, it was Noah's youngest son. You know what I'm saying? The youngest son of Noah. He is the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. Okay? So yeah. So we all know and through history who was called Negroes. Okay? Because our name has changed, you know what I'm saying, throughout, you know, the decades and centuries that we've been here in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? It's a constant name change, you know what I'm saying? And that's just to keep Jake further and further from the truth on knowing who they are. You know what I'm saying? Biblically, you know, historically, you know what I'm saying? And nationality-wise. All right? But yeah, so the big talk on that show is, you know, a lot dealing with, you know, how they were treated different here in America, you know, by, you know, Jake, you know what I'm saying, by you know, Judah, you know what I'm saying, in specific, you know, them being called African booty scratchers and you know, Mutombo, Doodoo, you know what I'm saying? I actually was watching this one, I guess it was like a news source from out of Africa, and I guess forgot what country was that in Africa, but they got their I guess it was their sacred drum back from France or from the French, you know. So the guy, the news anchor had a guy there that you know teaches ancient African drum you know, music and techniques, and his name was Doodoo, man. His name was Doodoo, man. Yo, man, I'm gonna need you to quiet down with them doodles in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Your doodles mad loud, yo. Trying to watch the TV. But, you know, that's a play on Godfrey. He had a skit, you know what I'm saying, years ago. I guess when COVID, you know, the C-19 was out. Yeah, that was one of them. But yeah, the dude's name was Doodoo, man. So, you know, Jake, you know, come on, man. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, Jake has some wild names, but I mean, the man government name was Doodoo. You know what I'm saying? Like Jake may have a nickname, but this fool, they named this Hamite Doodoo, man. Jake ain't doing all that, man. You know what I'm saying? And them Hamites is nasty, man. You know what I'm saying? They be you know, sticking their heads in under cows, you know, in cows' asses, and you know, having golden showers and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, spray it on them from the livestock and cattle, man. You know, it's just crazy. It's disgusting, man. Jake ain't doing all that, man. That's not our customs. Okay? So yeah. But you know, but I get it though. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, because Jake want to be connected to the motherland, if you will. And, you know, because Jake want to be a part of something bigger than slavery. I get it. And then the Africans, you you know what I'm saying, or the ones that think they're Africans, they want to be like Jake here in America. You know what I'm saying? It's a big game of wanting to trade places, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, so Jake is always going to be the head of everything from the curses to the sense of what's the word I'm looking for? Sensualization. I know I ain't saying it right, but Jake is popularized. You know what I'm saying? Jake is put on a pedestal. They're idolized. You know what I'm saying? Jake make everything, you know what I'm saying, popular. You know, so a lot of people want to emulate and be like Jake, but you know. So a lot of topics have been coming out, and and going back into ancient times, we had our forefathers, like Moses. He was actually mistaken, for an Egyptian. He actually was taken into the house of Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? As a baby, when they were trying to kill off all the men child, So I think it was Pharaoh's daughter. Moses was found and brought to her, either by her or one of her maid servants, and he became, I believe, second in command, man. So he rose to a high status there, man. So how is Jake, what I'm saying, in the Bible, not the people of today, which would be the so-called blacks, what I'm saying, the Negroes here in America, man. You know what I'm saying? If the you wish people, what I'm saying, is white, what I'm saying, pale face, what I'm saying. So yeah, and historically, we know that the Egyptians was dark-skinned people. You know what I'm saying? Even though they try to whitewash that history, with movies, with cinema. They try to make the Egyptians a fair skin, man. A lighter skin. But this is Exodus 2:11. And it reads, and it came to pass, Salakia, in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew. Okay, so yeah, so this is Moses, getting outside, man, hopping off the porch, man. You know what I'm saying? He went and stretched his legs. You know what I'm saying? And went to go see, what was going on in the land that he was ruling over. You know what I'm saying? So either at this point he knew he was a Hebrew, or he was brought unto his mother later on, and it was confirmed that, that she had to, give him up, because he would have been killed. So she actually, came forth and claimed him. You know what I'm saying? So he knew he was a Hebrew, nonetheless. So, and it reads, okay, and so he was actually, peeping the scene. So he saw this Egyptian, this Hamite, killing the Hebrew, man. One of his brethren. Okay, and it says that, one of his brethren. Verse 12, and he looked this way And that way, okay, so he making sure the coast's clear, right? You know what I'm saying? He on his first 48 shit. And when he saw that there was no man basically looking, no one, can see what he's about to do, was going to hand me with the blammy, he slew the Egyptian and he hid him in the sand. So yeah, so Moses had put in some dirt right there, man, and he basically put this motherfucker in the dirt, man. He said he hit that boy in some sand. What? Oh man. So yeah, so Moses was about that business, man. You know what I'm saying? He felt some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And it reads, and when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me? As thou see, this Jake here, he got in his feelings. You know what I'm saying? So he got, you know what I'm saying? He got some type of courage, you know what I'm saying? Because he had some dirt on Moses. So, you know what I mean? So he felt like, well, in this instance, you know what I'm saying? Who made you a prince and judge over us? You know what I'm saying? You a nigga just like us. Just like me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no better than me. You know what I'm saying? That's that crab in the barrel mentality, man. Jake had that back then, man. Alright? So he trying to guilt trip him. And he's threatening to rat him out. And it says, intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? Okay, and he's making a difference in there. He knows that, you know what I'm saying, he's a Hebrew and the others are the Egyptians. And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. See? So now the jig is up. Okay? Like that's why, when people be out here committing crimes, they swear that they, you know what I'm saying, did everything perfect. You know what I'm saying? They got the fingerprints off and, you know what I'm saying, they got rid of the murder weapon and, you know what I'm saying, they hid their face behind a mask and, you know what I'm saying, but somebody always watching, man. You know what I'm saying? Moses tried to look left and look right, you know what I mean? But here it is, word got out. Somehow, some way, word gets out. Okay? Boom. 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. See there? Okay? So now, you know what I'm saying? The true colors is coming out. So he wasn't looking at Moses like he was his son, second in command, and you know what I'm saying? No, he went with his people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So he sought to slay Moses. But Moses got law. Peep it. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Well. So, see there? You know what I'm saying? When it all falls down, baby, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to pick a side, man. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Either fuck with your peoples, you know what I'm saying? Or get fucked over, you know what I mean? Because these people don't give a fuck about you, man. You know what I mean? These heathens. But yeah. So yeah, Moses got mistaken for an Egyptian. I believe Paul got mistaken for an Egyptian. You know, they had, I guess, a big uproar, a riot, some type of confusion. And I believe one of the either Roman or Greek soldiers that arrested Paul asked him, you know what I'm saying? I guess Paul wanted to speak to the people, and he asked them, you know what I'm saying? You know, aren't thou that Egyptian? You know what I'm saying? You know, so basically he was, you know what I'm saying, like, how is he gonna speak to these people? You know what I'm saying? If he's Egyptian, because, you know, the language, you know what I'm saying, barrier is going to be, you know, that of another language, which would have been the Hebrew, versus the Greek, versus the Egyptian tongue. So back into the podcast. I believe it's called 154 Africa. And I guess that's their attempt to unite all the I think it's 54 countries in Africa. It's somehow they explained it, but they wanted to or maybe 154. But I guess they tried to do a twist on it and try to combine, you know what I'm saying, all the countries as like one. And somehow, you know, somewhere he explained it. But yeah, so on that podcast, I mean, they even got into, you know, going into explaining about the usage of the word akata, man. You know what I'm saying? Which was famed from that Wesley Snipes movie back in the day. I think Sugar Hill, which he was one of the, you know, if not the main star, you know, he was one of the stars in the movie. And I guess in the movie, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, a lot of people seen it. But basically, to break it down, in that scene, you know, they were trying to make a business deal with the Africans, and the Africans, you know what I'm saying, got bougie and, you know, and shit on them, you know, on Wesley and his crew, man. And it was like, you know what I'm saying, I don't know if I want to do business with an akata, you know what I'm saying. And Wesley was hearing that word thrown around, and he finally was like, yo, I gotta know what the fuck, like, you know what I'm saying, is you calling me a nigga? You know what I'm saying? You know, one of them is you calling me a nigga moment. You know what I'm saying? What's this word? You know, akata I keep hearing. And then the African nigga got bold and, you know, and said it, you know, with his chest out. Cotton picker. You know what I mean? And, you know, and that's when Wesley lost it, man. You know what I'm saying? And sorted that man, you know? But yeah, you know. But yeah, they were going into talking about that word and how, you know, that the word is true. It's a real thing. It's a real word, and it's like it's a byword. Basically, it's a byword. You know what I'm saying? It's a disrespectful way. You know what I'm saying? That how, you know, all these heathens got a racist epithet. You know what I'm saying, for Jake. You know? So yeah, man. So that's basically, you know what I'm saying, something that's trending on that show in particular, on that YouTube, on that podcast. But yeah, you know, we're you know, they're not like us, man. And we damn sure not like them, you know what I'm saying? For the true Africans. You know, Godfrey and old boy don't know. I mean, I believe Godfrey know. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, maybe he just found out, you know what I'm saying, from one of those weird, wayward groups that, you know, the Africans, you know what I'm saying, ain't gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? You know, that the Africans is not God's chosen people. You know? And you know, and felt some kind of way about it. You know what I'm saying? But not knowing that, you know what I'm saying, the Lord, you know what I'm saying, has his people scattered everywhere amongst the heathens. You know? Jake is like a speckled bird, man. But our people, you know what I'm saying? It's a remnant. That's over there. You know what I'm saying? In the West Coast and, you know what I'm saying? The interiors of Africa, man. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But there is a difference between, Jacob and, all the other heathen nations. You know what I'm saying? Even the dark races. You know what I'm saying? Because you got East Indians, the polka dot head motherfuckers, and they darker than a lot of, you know what I'm saying, Jacob here in America. But they don't call them African American. No, they call them by their chosen name, by their people. You know what I'm saying? Which will be Indian. From India. But yeah, they're really Elam. You know what I'm saying? The Elamites. According to Bible description. So yeah, so you know what I mean? So just because you share the same skin tone or skin complexion, you know what I'm saying, that don't mean, you know what I'm saying, we're a brother from the same mother, if you will. Or, in this case, brother from the same fudder, because it's all about, the seed of man. The seed of man determines your nationality. Alright? But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, So I hope this was edifying. So I want to say, call Halam La to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekar Kadash, the Wada, Tawa, Aman. Shalom.